Your soulmate just wrote you a secret love letter. It disappears in 5 minutes. My beloved child, don't skip, because what you are about to hear was never meant to reach you this soon. Somewhere between silence and destiny, a letter was written with trembling hands, a letter carrying emotions that were hidden for far too long. But there is one terrifying detail no one expected. This letter disappears in 5 minutes, as if it refuses to exist in a world where fear speaks louder than love. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Every second you remain here brings you closer to words your heart has been searching for without even realizing it. Imagine someone staring at a blank page for hours, crossing out every sentence because nothing felt worthy of explaining what they truly feel. That someone is the soul who cannot stop thinking about you. They never expected these words to leave their heart, yet tonight everything changed. They whispered to themselves, "If these feelings disappear without being spoken, I will regret it forever." That single thought became the first sentence of a letter that was never supposed to survive. The ink almost looked alive, as though every word carried a heartbeat. And the strangest part? Before writing your name, they paused, smiled through tears, and said that somehow you would find this message exactly when you needed it most. The first line of that hidden letter was not a confession, it was an apology. An apology for every moment they stayed silent when they should have spoken, for every chance they let fear steal from them, and for every night they convinced themselves you deserved someone braver. They admitted that people around them kept telling them to move on, yet every road somehow led back to the memory of you. They tried distracting themselves with new places, different conversations, endless routines, but every ordinary moment somehow carried your shadow beside it. Don't skip, because the next words changed everything. They wrote that one unexpected event forced them to stop running from their own heart. Someone asked them a simple question: if you had only 5 minutes left to tell one person the truth, whose name would you write? Without thinking, your name appeared. That frightened them more than anything else. Suddenly they realized they had spent so much time hiding from a feeling that had already become part of who they were. The letter continued with a promise they had never spoken aloud. They promised they would never again pretend your absence didn't matter. They promised they would stop letting doubt make decisions for them. And then came a sentence so powerful it almost wasn't written at all. If destiny gives me only one final chance, I hope it begins with you reading these words. Now something even stranger begins to happen. As the final page of the letter is folded, the ink starts fading little by little, almost as though time itself wants to erase the truth before it reaches you. But one sentence refuses to disappear. It remains darker than every other word, impossible to erase, impossible to ignore. It says, "You were never forgotten, only waited for." Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you, and this is only the beginning of what that mysterious letter reveals. Hidden beneath that final sentence is another page that no one has seen yet, a page containing the reason they disappeared when you needed answers, the reason they kept watching from a distance instead of stepping closer, and the reason tonight feels completely different from every night before it. The next words were written with shaking hands because they knew once they were revealed, nothing between you and them could ever remain the same again. And before the last trace of ink fades forever, one unbelievable secret is about to rise from the page, a secret powerful enough to change everything you thought you understood about this connection. My beloved child, don't look away now, because the hidden page was never meant to be opened by ordinary eyes. It remained sealed until the exact moment your heart became ready to hear what had been locked inside it. Don't skip, because what comes next is the reason this mysterious letter refused to disappear completely. As the faded ink begins returning to the page, another confession slowly reveals itself. It says, "The hardest battle I ever fought was pretending that losing you didn't hurt me." Those words were written after countless nights of silence, when they replayed every conversation, every smile, and every unfinished goodbye. They admitted that they tried convincing themselves the connection had ended, yet every new beginning somehow reminded them of what they had left behind. Even strangers unknowingly spoke words that brought your memory back. Every coincidence felt too precise to ignore. Every unexpected moment carried the feeling that your paths were somehow still connected. Then came the sentence they almost erased forever: "I wasn't waiting for time to heal me. I was secretly hoping time would lead me back to you. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you." The letter explains that while everyone believed they had moved forward, deep inside they were protecting a space that belonged to only one person. No one knew. No one suspected it. They smiled in front of others while quietly carrying emotions they could never explain. And now, with every word returning to the page, the truth grows stronger than the silence that tried to bury it. Without warning, another fold inside the letter opens by itself, revealing something that completely changes the meaning of everything written before. There was a date, a place, and a memory they never told anyone about. They described a day when they almost reached out to you but stopped at the very last second because fear whispered that it was already too late. That single decision became the regret they carried every day afterward. Don't skip, because this is where everything shifts. They wrote that they had imagined hundreds of conversations with you, practicing every sentence in their mind, only to lose the courage each time reality arrived. But recently something unexpected happened. A simple moment, one ordinary conversation, reminded them that life changes without warning and that opportunities do not wait forever. That realization pushed them back toward the unfinished letter. They added another line beneath the old ink: "If you are reading this, then maybe hope survived longer than my fear." Those words carried no pride, no excuses, only honesty. The letter admits they cannot change yesterday, but they refuse to let tomorrow disappear the same way. Every sentence feels heavier now because it is no longer just a confession, it has become a promise to stop hiding behind uncertainty. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you, and the final fold of this page contains a revelation they believed would remain secret forever. The last corner of the letter begins unfolding on its own, and suddenly the handwriting changes. The words become steadier, clearer, as though they were finally written by someone who had nothing left to hide. The message says, "If fate gives me one opportunity, I won't waste another second pretending I don't care." That sentence is surrounded by tiny marks where tears touched the paper before the ink had dried, leaving behind proof that these were never empty words. Don't skip, because the greatest revelation has still not appeared. Just beneath that final promise lies an envelope inside the letter itself, something no one expected to exist. Written across it are only a few unforgettable words: "Open only when you are ready to know why I never truly walked away." The envelope has remained sealed until this very moment. Inside it is the answer to the question that has quietly followed this connection from the beginning. The real reason they chose silence instead of honesty, distance instead of closeness, and waiting instead of speaking. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. What is hidden inside that final envelope will challenge everything you believed about this story, and once those next words are revealed, there will be no returning to the version of the truth you once knew. My beloved child, don't skip. Because the sealed envelope has finally been opened, and the very first sentence inside is so unexpected that even the writer paused before putting the pen back on the paper. It reads, "I never walked away because I stopped caring. I walked away because I was terrified that my love would never be enough." Those words had been hidden deeper than every other confession because they carried the greatest fear of all. They explain that every time they imagined standing in front of you, their heart filled with questions they could never answer. What if they arrived too late? What if someone else had already taken the place they dreamed of earning? What if the silence they created had become impossible to forgive? Those questions followed them through every sunrise and every sleepless night. Yet something remarkable happened when they finished writing this page. Instead of feeling relief, they felt urgency. It was as though the letter itself refused to remain locked away any longer. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. As the final lines become visible, another hidden message appears beneath the ink, one that could only be seen after every fear had been confessed. It simply says, "The story isn't over, the most important chapter hasn't even begun." The deeper you read, the more the letter begins revealing moments that were never shared with another soul. There were times when they quietly searched for signs that you were happy, not because they wanted to interrupt your life, but because your happiness mattered more to them than their own comfort. They admitted that there were countless opportunities to send a message, make a call, or explain everything, but every attempt ended the same way. Their hands stopped moving just before the truth could escape. Then came a moment that changed everything. They wrote about standing alone one evening, watching the sky slowly grow darker, when an unexpected realization settled into their heart. They understood that silence had protected nothing. It had only created distance where honesty could have built a bridge. In that instant, they promised themselves that if another chance ever appeared, fear would no longer be allowed to make the decision. Don't skip, because the next sentence feels almost impossible to believe. They wrote, "I don't want perfect timing anymore. I only want a real moment." Those words transformed the entire letter. It was no longer about regret. It became a declaration that hope was still alive, waiting quietly for the right door to open. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you, and the final page is unlike anything that came before it. Now the last page slowly unfolds, but instead of another confession, it contains a list of things they never stopped believing about you. Every line feels personal, every word carefully chosen, as though they spent years protecting these thoughts until the exact moment they could finally be revealed. They wrote that your kindness stayed in their memory long after conversations ended. They remembered the strength you showed when life became difficult, the warmth you carried without asking for recognition, and the quiet way you changed people simply by being yourself. Then the final paragraph begins, and the handwriting suddenly becomes unsteady again. One sentence stands alone in the center of the page, surrounded by empty space, making it impossible to ignore. there is one truth I still haven't told you. Don't skip, because this is where everything changes. Beneath those words is a tiny folded note attached to the corner of the page, almost invisible unless someone looks closely. Across the front it says, "Read this only if you're ready to discover why I disappeared on the day everything was supposed to begin. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you." The answer hidden inside that final note has the power to rewrite every memory, every unanswered question, and every silent moment that brought you to this extraordinary letter. My beloved child, don't skip, because the tiny folded note has finally been opened, and what it contains is nothing like you expected. The first sentence is written with such urgency that it almost feels alive. The day I disappeared was the day I realized how much I could lose. Until that moment, they believed silence would protect both of you from disappointment. But as the hours passed, they discovered something far more painful than rejection. The emptiness of never knowing what could have happened if they had simply spoken. They describe watching the world continue as if nothing had changed, while inside them everything had already changed forever. Every familiar place reminded them of an unfinished conversation. Every ordinary sound became a reminder of the words they never said. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The note reveals that they carried this secret everywhere, hidden behind smiles that convinced everyone they were completely fine. Yet every night, before closing their eyes, they imagined only one thing: what your reaction would have been if the letter had reached you on time. They never stopped wondering whether your heart would have recognized the truth hidden between those lines. And then comes the sentence that changes the meaning of everything: I wasn't waiting for courage anymore. I was waiting for destiny to stop giving me reasons to hide. That single line feels heavier than every page before it because it finally explains why the letter refused to disappear completely. It wasn't finished. It was waiting for this exact moment. The note continues with memories that had never been written anywhere else. They remember tiny details that everyone else would have forgotten. The way one ordinary conversation stayed with them for weeks, the encouragement they never admitted gave them strength during difficult moments, and the quiet feeling that life somehow became brighter whenever thoughts of you appeared. They confess that they often wondered if invisible threads were still connecting your stories, even while distance made everything appear impossible. Don't skip, because another incredible revelation is about to appear. Hidden beneath the final fold of the note is a smaller piece of paper, almost impossible to notice. Across the top it reads, "This is the truth I feared more than anything." As they unfold it, the handwriting becomes slower, more careful, as though every word carried enormous weight. I thought if I told you everything, I might lose you forever. But by staying silent, I lost every chance to let you truly know my heart. Those words are followed by several blank lines, as if emotions became too powerful for language itself. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The silence between those written lines speaks louder than any confession. It proves that the greatest battles are often invisible, fought inside hearts that appear calm to everyone else. And just when it feels like the letter has revealed everything, one final symbol appears in the corner of the page. A small sealed mark that was never explained anywhere else. Now the mysterious symbol begins fading into another hidden message, one that was invisible until every previous page had been read. The final handwriting is calm, confident, and completely different from the trembling words that began this extraordinary letter. It says, "If you have reached this point, then you already know my greatest secret. But you still don't know the reason this letter had to disappear in 5 minutes. Don't skip, because the answer has been waiting since the very beginning." Beneath that sentence appears one final promise: some truths are not meant to stay trapped on paper. They are meant to awaken something inside the person who reads them. Suddenly every fading word, every hidden page, every sealed envelope begins making perfect sense. The disappearing ink was never the mystery. The real mystery was whether someone would value the truth before it vanished forever. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Just before the last trace of ink disappears, one final line shines brighter than every other sentence in the entire letter. When the words are gone, follow what your heart remembers, because that is where you will find me. And as those unforgettable words slowly fade into silence, a final hidden page begins appearing from beneath the empty paper, carrying a revelation so astonishing that it has the power to change everything you believed this letter was truly about. My beloved child, don't skip, because the page rising from beneath the empty paper was never written with ordinary ink. It appears only after every visible word has disappeared, as though the letter wanted to know whether you were searching for temporary answers or lasting truth. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. At the top of this final hidden page, only one sentence exists: if you can read this, then you never came here by accident. The moment those words appear, the entire story begins connecting in a way no one could have imagined. Every erased sentence, every folded note, every disappearing page was quietly leading to this exact moment. The writer admits that the greatest message was never hidden inside the letter itself, it was hidden inside the courage it took to write it. They explain that love is not proven by perfect timing or flawless words. It is revealed by the willingness to be completely honest, even when the outcome is uncertain. They confess that every fear they carried slowly lost its power the moment they chose truth over silence. The page continues: I finally realized that the biggest risk was never telling you how deeply your presence changed me. Those words shine brighter than anything written before, refusing to fade like the rest of the letter. Don't skip, because the next revelation transforms everything. The writer says they stopped asking whether destiny would bring your paths together again. Instead, they started believing that every meaningful connection leaves behind a light that never truly disappears, no matter how much time passes. That light, they say, is the reason this letter found you before it vanished forever. As the page continues unfolding, another remarkable discovery appears. Instead of more confessions, there is a list of promises they silently made to themselves long before finishing this letter. The first promise says they will never again allow fear to speak louder than their heart. The second says they will never let another important moment pass without choosing honesty. The third promise is different. It simply reads, if life offers me one final opportunity, I will recognize it without hesitation. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Those promises are surrounded by tiny handwritten notes explaining how every difficult chapter became a lesson instead of an ending. They describe how silence taught them the value of truth, how distance taught them appreciation, and how uncertainty taught them patience. Then another sentence quietly appears beneath the promises: I don't want another lifetime of unanswered questions. The ink glows softly, almost as if the page itself refuses to let those words disappear. Don't skip. Because what comes next is unlike anything you've heard so far. At the bottom of the page is a final folded corner marked